Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we are looking at some pretty big One Piece sales. So as the One Piece market grows, there are a lot of cards that we previously saw as like $5,000 cards or $8,000 cards. Now we're really seeing them ramp up. So at the start we saw a lot of OP13 ramp up, but now a lot of that has like moved on to other stuff as well. So we'll be covering all that in this video. We'll also be updating a couple of weird things with OP13 as well. It's a very volatile set and there's a lot to cover, so we will also be talking about that. But anyways, let's begin. Alright, so first of all, right off the bat, I just want to talk about this Gear 5 Luffy here. So this sold for 12,000 USD. Now, I will just say, if you chuck it into 130 point, it doesn't really pop up, so I can't really confirm if it is a real like sale. However, there are a couple things pointing to it. First of all, it does say sold, which means it didn't end. That's the thing about eBay. It'll show it as a sold listing, but then when you click on it, it'll say ended. So it will say that it did sell with an exact time, but it also doesn't say best offer accepted. It says $12,000 or best offer. So going by that, it does seem like this is a legitimate sale. For $12,000, this would mean that this is an all-time high sale for this Gear 5 Luffy. That's a pretty big deal. 12,000 USD is a lot, especially the fact that there was one that sold in Australia for 8,000 USD, like only a couple days ago. So like in theory, that means that the person who bought that is already up $4,000 before fees and shipping. So it is a pretty big deal. I'm not going to lie. Like obviously, I'm sure the guy wanted the card, but it is kind of crazy to think you can send this card to Probstein, get them to auction it off. You only pay like 4% if it's like a $10,000 card. You like that's insane to me. Like it is insane how easy it is to make money when the market is doing really, really well. Like, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys watch Alpha Investments, but he talks about free tendies a lot, and it's like, yeah, now there's like a lot of them kind of circulating everywhere. So, and very interesting sale nonetheless. $12,000 is a huge number. I'm not giving up on buying this, but the thing is, I did buy a silver Luffy as like, you know, to kind of satisfy that hunger in a sense, because it's way too out of my price budget. But then at the same time, I bought a silver Luffy, and then I took it to my mate, and he told me that it was altered, so then I didn't want it because it was altered. So now I'm kind of just Luffy-less, back to Luffy-less. So that kind of sucks. So I got to figure that one out. So yeah, anyways, but still very interesting sale, $12,000. Moving on, I want to quickly talk about this Luffy right here. So this sold on auction for $5,100. What? Sorry, isn't this card like $1,500 or like $2,000? Like that is a lot. That's pretty interesting. So when OP13 came out, this card was only about $1,000. It did go up. It has, absolutely. But 5,100 is a lot for a PSA 10. I think this is a record sale. I don't think any other one has sold for this much. I just want to quickly say before we continue this video, if you're not in the Discord server, make sure to join it. Got links in the description. And also, if you are picking up any boxes on eBay, please do use my affiliate link. All you need to do is just click the link in the pinned comment or the description. And when you shop on eBay, I get a small little kickback. It helps support the channel and it costs you no extra. I really appreciate everyone who does it. Thank you guys so much. But anyways, let's continue. So yeah, you'll see here that it was only like $1,000-ish, and then it's actually jumped up a lot. So let's just say in the middle, like 22-ish, 22, 23. It then selling for 5,100 as a 10 is just a crap load, especially the fact that like I know all mangas are very high pops as 10s, very high gem rates, but like, dude, 79 10s and then 7 9s. Like, there should be a lot entering supply. So I do find that kind of weird nonetheless. Very interesting. There's nothing really more to talk about this card. It is just weird to see the manga sell for 5,100. Like, it's crazy that a lot of sets that people invest in, like, you know, PRBO2, the top chase isn't even 5,100 as a 10, but then for OP13, that is the 4th most expensive chase. That's crazy. But anyways, next thing I want to talk about is this Luffy here. So this one sold on the 18th of December, so this is definitely a recent one. This one sold for $16,200, which is really odd to me, if I'm not going to lie. And the reason why this is really odd is that the PSA 10 hasn't really gone down, but the single has. So you'll notice that the single is now selling for about the 9,000 range. It's stabilized at about this range. There's a couple sales and there's more people selling it a little bit cheap, like 10,000 or maybe 11,000. Like people have definitely come down from like $15,000, right? So like you gotta remember, like from $15,000 to $9,000, that's a huge swing downwards. In fact, that actually is a crash, I believe. Now you wouldn't really call it a crash because it's a brand new card, but technically it is a crash. So like it is a pretty big deal in hindsight, but at the same time, because like only a couple sell for it to be that price, it's a bit iffy. But anyways, nonetheless, you're seeing like the same day, December 18th, you're seeing raw ones go for 9,200 and then you're seeing 10s go for 16,000, even though a couple weeks ago you would see like raw ones sell for 15,000 and then you would see 10s sell for like 15,500 in the same day. So yeah, are you picking up what I'm dropping? That now you're seeing that price discrepancy, right? So like in a couple of videos ago, I was saying how two things are going to happen. The PSA 10 price is going to go up or the raw price is going to go down. We see the raw price going down, but then at the same time, we are seeing the PSA 10 hold its price, which means this is what people are willing to pay as a PSA 10, and then this is what people are willing to pay as a raw, which does make a little bit more sense if I'm being honest with you. Funnily enough, though, you're seeing 9s sell for $9,500. Now, there is a bit of an opportunity with 9s where you can buy it and then resubmit it. I've talked to some people who have sent like a lot. Your success rate usually is about 30%, but that is just submitting a ton. If you cherry pick it, like I don't really know what the damage on this is. It clearly, okay, what the heck? Yeah, okay, well, oh, no, it's just a shadow. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay, so you can see damage on the sides, right? So, like, you wouldn't buy this to grade it because you can visibly see damage, so that would make literally no sense. However, it's like, you don't have to pick this one, but you can bid on ones that are 9s and then just resubmit them. Then you have, like, maybe a 50-50 chance of getting a 10. But if you get a 9, again, you've lost, like, $600 from grading. But then if you get a 10, you've made, like, $5,000. So, realistically, you know, once again, you've got a bit of an infinite money glitch here where if you buy 10 and you submit them and you have a 50% success rate, let's just say, because you cherry pick the best ones, do you get what I'm saying? Now, obviously, it's not enough PSA 9s to even do that, but it is just still an interesting thought nonetheless, that it's like, you can just bid on PSA 9s and then take the risk. Worst case scenario, you lose like $500-ish from grading, however much it comes to be, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely something we can do. And also, another thing is that PSA takes really good pictures. So it's like, you can see this and go, oh, well, I can see 2 specs. No, okay, I'm not gonna try and resubmit it. Then if you go through enough auctions, you can go ahead and do that. The scary part with this is the pictures can hide anything, right? Like, you've got a white background here, which means that the card could be any condition, we don't know. But when it comes to something like this, there's no hiding the condition, meaning that there is a lot of opportunity. If you do want to take that risk, it's very low risk with very high reward, but there is a bit of mucking around. You do have to crack the case. And look, I understand a lot of people don't want to buy a card like from a slab and then crack it if it's like a $10,000 card inside. It can be very daunting, so I would also understand that. But anyways, moving on to the final sale, which is an OP01 white bottom booster box selling for $1,500. This is a new high, I believe. There's like a new high every single day, so it's very hard to keep track. That's why we do have the spreadsheet, but nonetheless, if there are some very notable sales in between the weeks, then I will also make a video and talk about it. But we are seeing this was on December 20th, but this was an auction, so there's no beating around the bush. There's no like best offer accepted, but it doesn't show it, and then you put in 130 point and it doesn't pop up. So like, this is just no beating around the bush, 1550, take it or leave it, right? So like, that is pretty cool. I guess this is also a big byproduct of taking good pictures. These pictures are really, really nice. It gets every single angle. When you get every single angle and you have such good looking pictures like this, you're just drawn to do really well anyways. Like, people prefer to buy it if you've got really good pictures. So that could have added like $50 or $100 of value just by showing the pictures. So I will just say one quick thing before we wrap up this video. When you are looking at evaluating boxes, the more expensive the box gets, you don't really want to go on TCG Player. And the reason why is because if there's no pictures, people are just naturally going to pay less. So that's why that is definitely something to consider, where it's like, you know, sometimes with these $1,500 boxes, like, I know damn well I'm not buying a $1,500 box without seeing pictures of it first. So that's kind of where the market sits. It's not just me, it is also just the market itself. That's where most people that's how most people feel. But yeah, very interesting sales nonetheless. I feel like the most notable one is definitely this one here. $5,100 for a normal manga is quite insane considering it goes for only like 2,000 to 2.2 raw. I mean, is there a grading play there? But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the comments. These sales are definitely notable sales. Very interesting to see Gear 5 Luffy's sell for so much. Seeing a lot of cards go up in price, seeing a lot of weird, interesting sales. So yeah, but that is going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.